Hi there, and welcome to The Works. I'm Ben Shea.
And I'm Ben Peltier. There's plenty of music in today's show and an unusual look at the world of comics. Some of the music comes from the most simple of Chinese instruments, the erhu, and from Jessie Howe, who uses it to play both traditional music and jazz.
In our studio, twin sisters Chao Lok Ping and Chao Lok Ting will be performing a piano duet, but on the same piano.
In movies this week, what happens when the nerds take over baseball? Gary Pollard talks to us about the Brad Pitt starring Moneyball.
But first, Osamu Tezuka was a Japanese cartoonist, manga artist, animator, and producer. In the Hong Kong Arts Festival this year, one choreographer has brought his work to life on the stage.
It's not just for kids. Also, the ending is very sad, I would say, and so I think it's for all ages, and it's definitely also for people who've gone through some sort of growing up, who are not afraid to be connected to how they felt when they were young, but also know where they are today.
Osamu Tezuka's animations inspired choreographer Sidi Larbi Cherkaoui to create this performance on show in the Arts Festival last week. Despite that, he says that it's not only targeted at people who've read or watched Tezuka's comics and animations. With his ensemble of 10 performers, 3 musicians and a calligrapher, Cherkaoui wants to allow Tezuka fans to meet characters they've known from the comic. To people who don't know his work, he hopes to introduce Tezuka's colorful characters.
I liked him in particular because of his humanity, the way he was in life also. He was more than just a manga drawer. I mean, he was also a visionary and an anime artist, but also made movies, and he had a real philosophy. So I felt very often people, when you are in the dance world like me, they ask you, who are your peers, who are the people that you admire at Tezuka, because I felt he was definitely an artist who shaped my own world, who shaped my own way of thinking, and I wanted to honor that.
Cherkaoui created Tezuka last year. During the production, Japan was hit by a destructive earthquake that drew the world's attention to the safety or otherwise of nuclear energy. One of Osamu Tezuka's popular characters, Astro Boy, is a nuclear-powered but peace-loving robot. Astro Boy and another Tezuka animated character, the Buddha, take part in the main storyline of Cherkaoui's performance.
I think those two characters, Buddha and Astro Boy, why did I like them so much? Because I think they conveyed something positive. When you read Buddha, even though it's fictional and it is inspired on the life of Buddha, you realize you meet someone whose morality is challenged and is constantly evolving and growing and becoming wiser and wiser. So there's a lot of wisdom there that I find important for my own life, and also think it's important to share with an audience. And it's the same with Astro Boy. He's a little character that is full of moral conflicts, trying to at the same time take care of robots and take care of humans and take care of the relationship between both in a very innocent way. One last thing about Astro Boy, which makes it sadder also, is that it was always kind of implied that Astro Boy was working on nuclear energy. If Astro Boy would be written today, I wonder what Tezuka would make out of everything that happened last year. I think he would definitely have Astro Boy be conflicted with this. When we were making it, it was quite a difficult period for Japan. And I was all the time thinking, what would he do with what's happening right now also in Japan?
Cherkaoui, who grew up in Belgium, says he's a comic freak who has long been fascinated by Japanese animation. He sees Tezuka as the godfather of the manga comic books that inspired a whole generation of cartoonists and animators. In the production, he uses dancers as his ink and the stage as his paper.
Because there was so much to tell about this artist and about what he stood for. And so eventually, what I did is I tried to reduce it to what was his medium, what was the thing with which he conveyed all his messages, and that was paper and ink. And so I felt, okay, I'll just try constantly to go back to this and see how this ink can be put in different shapes and create different meanings. I feel like the writer and also the audience is trying to find Tezuka, trying to find who he is, what he is about. So it's a bit like a documentary. You learn more and more about him, but also you realize he's not there anymore because he died in '89. So the moment you reach him is the moment you lose him. Because that was also something I felt when doing research, is that I felt I couldn't meet him because he was everywhere, but he wasn't, he wasn't there anymore to talk to.